This is a planting that I made of some live wood posts of what here is called Madero Negro. If you cut even a large size branch off and plant it in the ground, if you get lucky, they shoot out and stay alive. And yeah, the original idea was to plant them so I could plant dragon fruit plants on it. As you can see here, these cactuses that are growing on them are actually dragon fruit plants. Yeah, and that was actually the initial idea. But when I had all the seed for the that I produced for the Catasetinae, I thought I'd spread the seed out over these too, because there was a lot of cut wood surfaces that, as you can see here, the parts where it didn't shoot out and it died ended up rotting. That ended up producing an environment that was very good for germinating Catasetinae. These are some Marmotas here that they're 1 year old approximately. They're from last year's seed, and as you can see with this little one, some of them are already blooming. And I seem to have gotten a lot better germination rates on this. And I think I've even noticed it with some other orchids in some orange trees around the house, that better than just dead wood, they seem to like dead wood that's still attached to a live tree. These are actually some Galliandra seedlings down here, if it'll focus. And Galliandra seedlings, actually, they're no longer blooming, but I also had several of those. Actually, let me try and put this on manual focus here. Not sure if you guys can see this. The screen is so small, but yeah, they actually also bloomed in the first year of growth, which is for me really impressive, because a lot of orchids take a while. Mostly they get used here as live fence posts, but here I planted them actually as supports for the dragon fruit plants. But that seemed to have worked a lot better for germinating orchids. A lot of times it will be like here, you can kind of sort of see, and I'm blocking the light. This was the post, and here, these are actually branches that grew off after the post was put in the ground. But here, this little bit on the top actually died off. And in that wood, here I had some Gongora germinate, which are almost at the size. I'm thinking next year they'll bloom. But yeah, in any case, I thought I'd present that because I was kind of surprised how well the germination took place. Here's some, what do they call it? Galliandras that germinated. The red thread here, which I can actually remove because it didn't work, but I tried crossing them with Marmotas, and it seems like online there are some Galliandra, Marmotas, and Catasetum crosses, but so far I haven't been able to get the Galliandra to accept the pollen from other genera. It's only gone the other way around. I have had Catasetum accept some Galliandra pollen and they're producing right now some seed pods that look like they might be viable, but we'll see. Up here, it's another same way that on the cut end of the wood is where this germinated, which you would think in theory is that it would be the same thing as just a dead piece of wood, but for some reason here it germinated far better. Another Gongora. Here's Mormonis that already bloomed. And as you can see by the red thread, I pollinated it with, I'm not sure anymore. I'm not keeping too good of records of that because I generally spread the seed all over the place. I wouldn't be able to tell anyways, once it's germinated, from which seed pod it came from. So there's not really much point in labeling every seed pod. I just make seed pods of interesting crosses with the pollen I have at hand, and we'll see what pops up, and when they eventually flower, I'll get to see what I got. I thought I'd just show that because I'm kind of wondering if it's the vertical orientation of the trunks. I may end up trying to do just kind of an experiment of taking dead trunks and stacking them up, but like in this same type of orientation. But what you can kind of tell is that it seems to be pretty consistent that they germinate where there is dead wood. It is like this used to be a cut surface here. Sorry about that. This used to be a cut surface. It got covered in moss. But out of that came the little Mormotis. Same here. This little bit up top died, while below here it got new shoots. So down here it's live. Up here, that little bit died, and that's where it germinated. Yeah, it's been pretty much, that's been the pattern. I've never seen them germinate anywhere where there wasn't at least some dead wood. Here's a spot where a lot of them came out. And they've all kind of remained smaller because I'm guessing there's competition for nutrients, or yeah, probably for nutrients, maybe water too. But yeah, that's that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what I get germinating in this coming year. This one's actually already shooting out again. I'm looking forward to seeing what I get to germinate this year because I've made a lot more crosses. I got myself quite a few more hybrid Catasetinae from well, not local, but from a nursery here in Costa Rica that's about 2.5 hours drive away, who brought in a bunch of SVO or Sun Valley Orchid hybrids that I don't know, I found them a little bit expensive, but they have a lot of value to me as pollen, because they have interesting genetics that I'm not going to find here in the native orchids. So yeah, I made a lot of crosses with those using the native orchids as mother plants, which I'm really hoping ends up giving them maybe some I don't know, what would you call it, like some vigorous traits that they're more able to handle the local conditions while presenting some of the prettier flower traits from the hybrids. And there's another one. Actually, where is this is one of my biggest Catasetum maculatum. It's yeah, I mean, it's the size of like a I don't know, what would you say it, but like it's at least like 12 inches long, the pseudobulb from last year, and now it's producing a new one. I have 3 seed pods. This one in the back, actually, let's go around here, is getting really close to popping based on the yellowing of the point tip. And if I wanted to do like in vitro germination, I would probably take it off pretty soon before the seams on the side of the pod split, so that everything remains sterile inside. But seeing as I do just, I don't know, I guess you could call just as spreading all over the area wherever I think they might germinate, it doesn't really need to remain sterile, because once I spread it around, it's not gonna, it needs to come in contact with the right type of fungus to germinate. In any case, yeah, I might still show you guys how I've been repotting now. Because it's now the right time to start putting these in new pots or places to grow. Might show you how I've been doing that right now.